Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning to Madam. So today we would like to present to you about the leadership of Tony Fernandes. Okay, for the first one, Shafika will present about the leader's journey and Nick will present about the leadership style and Sarah will present about task focus and people focus. And last but not least, Nisha will present about the choice of leader.
First of all, introduction. Leadership can be defined as influencing and motivating others to bring out the best in them. It focuses on motivating individuals to contribute more to the overall performance of an organization. Leadership is often defined as a process in which an individual influences and encourages others to achieve organizational objectives and directs the organization to work more coherently and cohesively. Moreover, a person capable of bringing about change and also lead. A good leader prioritizes others over himself and is proactive. Leader's journey. Anthony Francis Fernandes was born on 30 April 1964. Is a Malaysian entrepreneur. Tony Fernandes received his education at Kuala Lumpur's Alice Smith School. He studied at Epsom College boarding in England starting at age 12 from 1976 to 1983. In 1987, he graduated from the London School of Economics with a degree in accounting. He is the founder of TuneX Sdn Bhd, credited for introducing Malaysians to Air Asia, the first low-cost no-frills airlines with the tagline, "Now everyone can fly." Fernandes was able to turn a struggling government-linked commercial airline, Air Asia, into a highly profitable, publicly traded budget carrier. Since then, he has founded the Tune Group of companies. He briefly worked as an auditor for Virgin Atlantic before becoming the financial controller for Richard Branson's Virgin Communications in London from 1987 to 1989. Before joining Warner Music International London as Senior Financial Analyst, Fernandes joined the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, which is ACCA, in 1991 as an associate member and was promoted to fellow member in 1996. Fernandes bought Air Asia in September 2001 and became the company's chief executive officer. In October 2001, Fernandes met with Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad through Datuk Pahamin A. Rajab, the former Secretary General of the Malaysia's Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Ministry. Rather than starting from scratch, Mahathir recommended that Fernandes purchase an existing airline. DRB Highcom, a Malaysian government-owned firm losing money, had a heavily indebted subsidiary called Air Asia. Fernandes mortgaged his home and used his savings to purchase the company, which included two Boeing 737-300 jet aircraft and debts totaling $11 million, RM 40 million for 1 ringgit, about 26 US cents, and turned it into an industry player. 1 year after his takeover, Air Asia had made a profit and paid all of its debt. Fernandes was also instrumental in persuading Malaysia's then Prime Minister. Malaysian Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad plans to pursue open skies agreement with Thailand, Indonesia and Singapore in mid-2003. As a result, these countries have granted Air Asia and other low-cost carriers landing rights. Fernandes plans to expand by bidding on the operations and maintenance contract at Cloud International Airport in the Philippines. Fernandes stepped down as CEO of Air Asia in February 2020 while the Airbus bribery allegations were investigated. A month later, Fernandes was reinstated as CEO of Air Asia after the Serious Fraud Office of the United Kingdom cleared him of any wrongdoings in the Airbus bribery allegation probes.
Hi, my name is Firdaus and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys about the leadership styles of Tony Fernandes. So, the first one, transformational leadership. A transformational leader is someone who are able to inspire their employees to set aside their self-interest for the company goals. Now, at that time, the employees that AirAsia was hiring was the employees that actually got laid off due to the terrorist attack in New York and Washington DC. At the time, there was no security for the airlines employees, so that is surely demotivating for them. And during that time, you need to also note that AirAsia is actually on the edge of bankruptcy. So that is not really promising for the workers. They are surely motivated and demotivated, right? So how do Tony Fernandez tackle this? Well, what Tony did was that he provide a vision for the employees, a low-cost air travel company. Now, what this does was that it create a sense of mission in the employees that, damn, we are different from other company. Even though we are doing the same thing, we how we doing it is really different from other company. And this actually helped Tony to gain his employees respect and trust. Now, another way that you can see it is that Tony actually instilled inspirational motivation in his employees. How he did this was that he created a motto of "Now everyone can fly." Now, this motto or tagline actually instilled a sense of pride, like that we are really different from other company, and we are trying to achieve something that is far greater than profit alone. We are trying to change the world. The purpose of this tagline was to win the people first. Now, what Tony means by people, it is actually to win his employees first, to win the heart of his demotivated employees. It actually creates a sense of pride, which then contribute to the employees paying their respect and trust to Tony Fernandez. Now, moving on to the second point, visionary leadership. A visionary leader is someone who are able to create a realistic, attractive, and a credible vision of the future. Back in the days, in Malaysia, there was only 6% of Malaysian who has ever boarded a plane in their life. Now, that is seriously a low number. It was such an exclusive thing because it's expensive that if you ever board a plane in the past, you can actually tell your parents, you can actually tell your son, your family, your neighbor, then people will actually get excited like, whoa, you have board into a plane. How does it feel? Man, I wish I could get board into a plane just like you. And that is how air travel was perceived back in the days. It was so exclusive. Now, what Tony has in mind was that he want to make this exclusive thing into a common thing that everyone can do it. Like everyone can fly. Now, but this attractive vision is just not enough. Tony actually need to make this into a realistic and a credible vision. Now, what he did was that he lobbied Tun Mahathir and neighboring countries like Thailand, Indonesia, and Singapore into a open skies agreement. Now, this agreement actually succeed, and what it does was actually it acquired the landing right and to the AirAsia, and not just AirAsia, also to the other discounted carriers. Now, this doesn't just improve the airline industry in Malaysia, but also into our neighboring countries and all of soon will into all of the Asia. And that is why Tony Fernandez is a visionary leadership.
Tony Fernandes once said, walk the talk, which he always focused on his employees and mix around with employees who work on the ground or as a pilot cabin crew. He always listened to his employees' voices because he wanted to make a business judgment based on his experience and input from his workers. As a result of his experience, he has gained a great deal of knowledge. So, in detail, he is actually a people-focused leader. The people-focused style is actually related to the employee-oriented because being involved with his staff will make him appear kind and supportive, more like a family in the workplace than a worker-boss connection. On top of that, he breaks down walls by encouraging everyone to speak up and get every brain in the game. He tackles his employees to learn, grow, and know what to do in the company. Besides, this is like the most interesting part, which is all level workers have his personal contact information and email address, and they can meet with him at any moment as he is an anti-hierarchy leader. At the moment, employees give 100% effort and trust in the company and do their best. Aside from this, he is also a leader who can lead in crisis. During the loss of Asia QZ8051 on December 28, 2014, he gave full support to the crew's families and passengers as he spent a lot of time with them. He is held responsible for the conduct of his team. He admits that the passengers were on my aircraft and I have to take responsibility for that. And he made well-informed decision as his main concern was about the passengers and not explaining what had occurred. To sum up, the staff can learn from his honesty and integrity. He does not cling to his seat, but instead he gets his hands dirty with his team. Last but not least, he also uses the same approach for his client as he impact his team members and inspired them. As we know, he is full of passion and charisma. He willingly to carry their luggage while having a chit-chat with them and even escort them to the airport when customer at the passenger terminal stop him.
Tony Fernandes is an entrepreneur who has a few entrepreneurial skills and quality that enable him to build a large and globally known business empire called AirAsia. He managed to place AirAsia into of the world's most outstanding low-cost commercial airline giants and also positioning AirAsia as the largest low-cost carrier in Asia with over 120 destinations. The innovator's nature is reflected when he suggests low-cost flight for the underprivileged at a low and affordable price as the percentage of Malaysian flying is small. Here he shows that the innovator in him that he thinks about changing an existing product and making change. Also, the changes made are relevant and relational. So why we choose Tony Fernandes? The first one is about the leadership skills. Refer to the characteristic that he has shown in leading Asia to become a successful company. The leadership style is transformational and visionary leadership. It is one of the main reasons Tony should be emulated. He has proved his operations management skill in many ways that show his charismatic leadership qualities, as is well known. Tony Fernandes also used a walk and talk management approach. He believed that if a person sits in an office and only look at financial report, they will make a big mistakes. He make business decision based on his own experience, observation, and feedback from his crew. In addition, Tony Fernandes also practiced employee-oriented leadership in companies where employees prioritize customer. He believes that having a workforce that is happy in performing their duties will ensure his clients' welfare. He also practiced anti-hierarchy environment in their organization. It encouraged people and employees to speak up and develop new ideas. It is an excellent model to follow in the management that he established, since it gives his employee a voice and allow them to express their opinion. Secondly, is about time competence. When it comes to Tan Sri Tony Fernandes' time management, he is an intelligent man who makes the most of the chance and time. As the definition, entrepreneurs grew their business in response to current need or significant demand. For example, he effectively used the option available to suit the current needs and wants. In this context, Tan Sri Tony Fernandes purchased AirAsia and expanded the business after receiving advice from Dr. Mahathir Mohamad to take over AirAsia from DRB Highcom through Tune Air Sendian Berhad on September 8, 2001. Therefore, Tan Sri Tony Fernandes take the opportunity of time competence by purchasing AirAsia company after September 11, 2001, where the average airline industry worldwide suffered losses. This situation is the worst in the history of world aviation. Due to the situation, the world community has expressed their concern about using air transport, especially aeroplanes. As a result, Tan Sri Tony Fernandes believed that the moment he chose to purchase the AirAsia company was the best time to set up the empire of the first airline with the concept of lawfare. Thirdly, he showed a high commitment in business. To succeed in a field of business, you must be committed and have a high spirit when doing a job. Being committed is a feeling of responsibility or a high awareness of the work being done. In this regard, Tan Sri Dato' Tony Fernandes has a very high commitment to developing AirAsia. His commitment can be seen when he is always together when there are activities or discussion about AirAsia. He always wears an image and trademark or appearance of the AirAsia company, which is white and red. Most of the time, he will wear a white shirt and a red AirAsia hat. Tony's clothing style has illustrated his high commitment to advancing AirAsia and set an excellent example for new entrepreneurs. Furthermore, his presence in various activities related to AirAsia show that he is a person who is not careless toward his employees. He went down to the field to monitor all related activities by him. And lastly, he is a creative entrepreneur. He is one of the most innovative entrepreneurs. Creative people have unique inventiveness, whether it is visible or not. He has used the idea very well when he successfully identifies the airline industry problem and creates the solution that successfully conquered the world. In addition, the creative ideas that he has implemented in the world of entrepreneurship have helped him build a name for himself worldwide. We greatly admire this entrepreneur because he managed to think outside the box in his mind when he wanted to realize a low-cost airline and always thought about the welfare of public. In addition, he also managed to come up with the idea of redeveloping failed airline where there was no profit anymore. Through Tony's creative efforts, AirAsia began developing and progressing globally until it successfully fly over millions of people. So now we move to the conclusion.
To sum up, we admit that Tony Fernandes took over AirAsia and it became the best of the ASEAN airline companies in market segment and profitable. Tony Fernandes was not only a leader, but a great leader in many ways, including his skills and personal qualities. His good and right vision, Tony Fernandes has a variety of the leadership styles. We can describe him as a visionary and transformational leader based on his background and the way he managed AirAsia.